Hello and welcome to News Round, a recap of stories in the week. I'm Tenyola Shoboale. The headlines. National Assembly seeks an end to insecurity in the country, debates relentless clashes between farmers and herdsmen. Two state governors at loggerheads over farmer and herder crisis ravaging parts of the country. President Muhammadu Buhari flags off Kano Katsina-Dibia Maradi Railway project, says project will boost nation's economy. Plus, the Trump impeachment trial begins in the U.S. Senate. Lawmakers watch graphic videos of the attack on the Capitol building on January the 6th. That's News Round in View. News Round begins with security matters and the intervention by the National Assembly, where the Senate is again debating how the nation can best tackle the menace. The lawmakers are calling for more drastic action on the part of the newly appointed security chiefs. For senators, there is no better time for the establishment of community and state police than now to effectively deal with the unfolding threats.
January 11th. Gunmen kill 3 mobile policemen in Ughelli Delta State, cutting away rifles and 120 rounds of ammunition. January 31st. Gunmen abduct US-based Nigerian Dennis Abuda along the Benin bypass and kill him despite collecting ransom from the family. February 8th. Bandits kill no fewer than 23 people and injure many in Kaduna State. These are just few of the violent crimes recorded barely 2 months into 2021, leaving a trail of deaths and destruction across the country. The Senate resumes plenary on Wednesday, with lawmakers troubled by the relentless insecurity in the country and seeking solutions to the crisis.
Mr. President, we're all in denial, especially government. And if we were not in denial, we would have declared insecurity a national emergency, the way we declared COVID a national emergency. The figures that are coming out of insecurity are higher than the figures that are coming out of COVID.
We have set up a committee that have worked on restructuring, and I believe the committee have submitted their report. This is one angle in which we should start looking at.
There were also reactions to herders-farmers conflict, with differing views on how the crisis should be managed.
I find it difficult to believe in the 21st century that a governor of a state who has taken oath to preserve and protect the Constitution of Nigeria, which embodies fundamental human rights of residents, will come openly to ask people who are not indigenous of his state to leave his state on the pretext of something that they are doing, and their cost of law.
No Nigerian is being sent away from anywhere. Criminals are being sent away from the forest where they are. And so, when we now come here and say, some people, after doing this thing and they're sending people away, you send the wrong message out. Instead of general insecurity in Nigeria, should be the menace of Fulani herdsmen in Nigeria.
At the end of a debate, lawmakers ask President Buhari to direct the newly appointed service chiefs to reorganize the country's security architecture to efficiently respond to the security crisis. They are also urging state governors to implement the National Livestock Transformation Plan to address the farmer-herder conflicts in the country. Linda Akibe, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, 2 of the newly appointed service chiefs are already visiting the northeast to assess the security situation as they map out their plans. The Chief of Army Staff, Major General Ibrahim Atahiru, says the army will be collaborating with the Cameroonian and Chadian forces to finally eliminate the terrorists and assures the frontline troops of maximum support and improved welfare. He stated this after touring troops' positions in Borno and the Army Super Camp at Ngamdu near the Yobe-Borno border.
Hit the ground running, as it were, is what the Chief of Army Staff is all about. And this visit to Borno State is a demonstration of that. is straight to business as the situation report on operations is presented.
We very much appreciate this keen interest you have shown. Like I said, barely a week you are back here again. Now back home in your own capacity as Chief Army Staff to now delve on the issues that matter.
1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3!
Galvanizing the troops is an integral component of attaining victory, and words of encouragement and pledges come in handy.
Another issue is the issue of equipment. I have been briefed this afternoon about the lack of it, and we are making very tremendous effort. As your Chief of Army Staff, I've been equally told of kittings. In the next couple of weeks, you will have your boots, your uniforms, and protective gear.
Next is Yobe State, where he is welcomed by soldiers with a salute and demonstration of willingness. The army boss does not disappoint his troops. From exercise to briefings of achievements of various operations in the fight against insurgency. Victory does not come without challenges, an issue the Chief of Army Staff says his trip will help on how to take them on.
The emphasis is on military effectiveness. And we want to bring this war to an end soonest. So we're bringing out things. You can see Operation Turata Gemogo, successes being recorded. We want to cash in on that and ensure the total annihilation of Boko Haram.
The Chief of Army Staff must have an understanding that the road ahead will be a fair mix of smooth and bumps. But the journey will be worth it when the loyalty of the soldiers in the front line is assured.
So that we can continue the war.
Well, still on security matters, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Oladayo Amao, has also been visiting the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole in Borno State. Air Vice Marshal Amao has emphasized the need for the Air Force to sustain the ongoing onslaught against Boko Haram terrorists and the Islamic State of West Africa elements in the northeast of the country. To do this more effectively, he believes troops need to devise new ways of doing things in order to achieve better, longer-lasting results, adding that in sustaining platform serviceability, the service would continue to leverage on the acquisition of new platforms while ensuring effective maintenance of existing ones. According to the CAS, in addition to the 23 brand new aircraft acquired by the federal government, the Air Force is expecting 15 additional new manned aircraft, 12 Super Tucano attack aircraft, and 3 Thunder multi-role fighter jets, as well as 8 new unmanned combat aerial vehicles. Meanwhile, there appears to be no love lost on the farmer-herder crisis between the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, and his Benue State counterpart, Governor Samuel Otom. Governor Mohammed believes that some of his colleagues are inflaming ethnic sentiment on the issue and has taken a swipe at Governor Samuel Otom on this. But the latter has also responded in strong terms, describing Governor Mohammed's comments as disappointing.
If a state of emergency is not declared on security in this country, we may wake up one day and discover that we have no country.
What does it take to declare a state of emergency in a country? Cases of natural disasters, civil unrest, armed conflict, medical pandemic, or other biosecurity risks are some issues that qualify.
There are procedures to follow before you come into Nigeria.
The call by the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, stems from a series of events that are now approaching boiling points in the country. The farmers and herders crisis, one of the many security challenges in Nigeria, has been going on for some time. Farmlands have been destroyed and many have been killed. Allegations that the herdsmen hire militia for protection have been made. Some arrests have also been made by security agencies, but that does not appear to deter the act. The Northern Governors Forum is equally making attempts at bringing the crisis to an end by endorsing ranching. This was met with a lot of commendation across the country, but for the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, who says the rights of a tribe is being infringed upon and blames some governors for inciting ethnic aggression. He slammed Governor Samuel Ortom for, according to him, leading the charge.
You have seen what our colleagues in the Southwest are doing, and some of them from the Southeast. Some of us told them, with all modesty and humility, you are wrong. But the person that is most wrong is the governor of Benue State, my brother and my colleague, Governor Ortom. And now, because a Fulani man is practicing the tradition of transhumance, pastoralism, he has been exposed to the vagaries of the forest, the animals, and now the cattle rustlers who carry guns, kill him and take away his commonwealth, that is the cows. He had no option but to carry AK-47 because the society and the government are not protecting him. What is his fault? It's the fault of the government and the people. You don't criminalize all of them. Nobody owns any forest. The forest is owned by Nigeria. Under Section 23, 24, 25 of the Constitution, every Nigerian is free to stay anywhere.
Governor Ortom has hit back at his colleague with words of caution, reminding of the number of people killed by armed herders, and insists all he and majority of Nigerians seek is peaceful coexistence. What is acceptable to one may not go down well with the other, is what this back and forth is turning out to be. Hopefully, all parties will sit together to chart a path of attaining a much-needed tranquil state. Orolu Ashunibare, Channels Television News.
To other stories, the President Muhammadu Buhari has flagged off the Kano-Katsina-Jibia-Maradi Railway project with a branch line to Dutse in Jigawa State. The President says the project, when completed, will enhance economic activities on a higher level, especially the trans-Saharan trade between Nigeria and Niger Republic. President Buhari spoke virtually at Kwarintama village in Katsina State, the venue of the flag-off of the project, which is to be completed in 2023.
The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, and his Nigerian counterpart, Saadu Seidu, and other officials arriving at Kwarintama village in Katsina State, the venue of the groundbreaking ceremony of the Kano-Katsina-Jibia-Maradi Railway project with a branch line to Dutse in Jigawa State. The Minister of Transportation, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, expresses optimism that this route, when linked with the ongoing Lagos-Kano Railway project, will generate high traffic volumes and revenue.
This project will reach a substantial completion in the year 2023, when it will be ready to handle passenger and freight daily traffic forecast of 9,364 passengers and approximately 3,000 metric tons of freight on return trips between Kano and Maradi.
Standard railway stations will be established in Kazaure, Daura, Jibia and Dutse, with minor stations in Dambata, Shagale and Mashi, as well as power stations in Gunya, Kano Airport, Muduru, Dadara and at Hanumata and Maradi in Niger Republic.
For us, this day, we are more than happy because this history is being made during our time.
What else do we need when we are talking of development? Mr. President, we thank you for this milestone.
The 36 governors of Nigeria will always thank President Muhammad Buhari, because without his support, we couldn't have raised our heads high. We could be hiding by now.
Flagging of the project, President Muhammadu Buhari believes that the railway, when completed, would enhance economic activities between Nigeria and Niger Republic.
This vital infrastructure line will establish an end-to-end logistics supply chain in railway transport services between northern and southern regions of the country, reaching Nigerian southern ports of Lagos and Warri.
The project is expected to be completed in the year 2023.
The head of the November governorship election in Anambra State, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, is challenging security agencies to replicate their conduct during the governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states last year. He stressed the importance of proper management of polling units in order to minimize disruptions in future polls. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu was speaking at a consultative meeting with members of the Interagency Committee in Abuja.
This meeting with members of the Election Security Committee in Abuja is the third in the series of consultative meetings on the need to create more polling units ahead of the 2023 general elections. In his remarks, Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission underscores the importance of crowd management at polling units.
Let me also
He calls on security agencies to exhibit the same professional conduct observed from them during the Edo and Ondo governorship elections last year.
The management of large crowds at many polling units across the country has been challenging to commission officials and members of excess, resulting in some cases in the late commencement of polls or the disruption of the sorting and counting of ballots at polling units. Such disruptions often have consequences on electoral outcomes, leading in some instances to avoidable supplementary elections. The Commission has already released the timetable for Anambra governorship election, scheduled to hold on the 6th of November 2021. I urge you to maintain the same level of professionalism displayed in the recent elections and ultimately the 2023 general election.
The representative of the National Security Advisor is also asking INEC to build a stronger synergy with security agencies ahead of the November election in Anambra State.
The NSA commended the synergy and the professionalism exhibited by all the security agencies in the previous elections. He also expressed optimism that future elections will be better than these ones. The NSA also implored the INEC chairman to redouble his effort in ensuring that the forthcoming gubernatorial election in Anambra State within this year will be peaceful and devoid of rancor.
Security agencies play a major role in Nigeria's electioneering process, and as experts would say, a compromised election security system adversely affects the credibility of the election results.
203 local firms now have license as enrollment and registration centers for the national identity number in a move by the government to address the frustration faced by enrollees. The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy explains that the licenses were granted by the federal government as part of efforts towards improving the process.
It's another day and the struggle continues for those seeking to get through the national identity number registration process. At the Wuse Zone 3 registration centre, the hurdles are constant. No room to observe the COVID-19 protocols, and the scorching sun appears to have compounded the growing frustration.
This is getting to 4 days now. They will say, come, when we come in the morning, they will write names, and nothing will happen.
We can't be crowding here like this, just because we want to be identified in our own country. So if there's anything they need to do, they should do a proper planning.
Some applicants take shelter under available shades. Others attempt to quench their thirst, and those who can't struggle anymore take some rest.
Okay, first you have to come and write your name. After writing your name, before you now join the queue, if they call your name, before you collect this number, and it's not easy. You have to fight, struggle. Like me now, I even went out to buy something to drink.
In the meantime, the federal government has issued license to some local firm to coordinate the exercise.
We have granted a license to 203
indigenous companies to serve as operators. However, there is room for improvement. We always try to set standard, ridicule our previous success, make sure our today is better than yesterday and tomorrow is better than today. And we will continue to build and improve on the experience we are gathering.
The minister is also asking the firms to comply with the COVID-19 protocols while carrying out the exercise.
News round ends in the United States, where the Senate has commenced impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. Apart from referring to Trump as inciter-in-chief, the lawmakers have also watched some videos of the attacks on the Capitol building on January the 6th. The previously unreleased security footage revealed how rioters, including some in body armors, violently breached the building and sought out those who had gathered to certify the country's November election results. Day 2 of Donald Trump's Senate impeachment trial. Democratic lawmakers laid out their evidence that the former president incited an insurrection by exhorting thousands of supporters to march on the Capitol last month.
And was not remotely surprised
Lead impeachment manager, Democratic Representative Jamie Raskin, warned that his team would show videos of the Capitol assault that would include scenes of shocking violence and bloodshed against police officers.
The evidence will show you that ex-President Trump was no innocent bystander. The evidence will show that he clearly incited the January 6th insurrection.
Previously on-scene videos showed the view from inside the Capitol as rioters smashed windows and fought with police on January the 6th, coming within 100 feet of the room where then Vice President Mike Pence was sheltering with his family.
As Pence was being evacuated, rioters started to spread throughout the Capitol. Those inside helped other rioters break in through doors in several locations around this entire building.
Pence oversaw the formal certification of President Joe Biden's victory during the January 6 proceedings at the Capitol, despite pressure from Mr. Trump to halt the process. Other videos demonstrated how close the mob came to lawmakers, with one video showing House members passing by a police officer who was holding a member of the mob at gunpoint. Impeachment managers also used social media posts and clips of Mr. Trump to illustrate how he spent weeks pushing the narrative that the election had been stolen from him and with his reaction to the attack.
16 times to get them to do something he wanted. And his message in those 16 times was clear. Fight. Stay strong. Be strong. But when the violence started, he never once said the one thing everyone around him was begging him to say. Stop the attack.
Democrats will continue to argue their case for conviction today before Mr. Trump's team takes to the stand in his defense. They have already argued the trial is politically motivated and unconstitutional and that he did not encourage violence. And that's News Round this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Teniola Shoboale. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.